married together for over 30 years, and my marriage is, going on 30 years. Maybe we've been together more than 30 years. So I'm just thanking God for that. And my wife did a little something that she wanted to share with us, and she couldn't be here, but I told her, I would definitely put it on to let the audience hear. So I'm going to just play this little something that my wife sang for me, and don't you guys get jealous? But anyway, this is from my wife to me. It's me on the guitar. Well, that is about the gist of it. Of course, you're going to get a few phone calls when you're going to definitely get a few phone calls when you're using your phone. But anyway, what do you think? She just out of the air. She just started it, and I started playing the guitar, and we went right with it.
Wow. That's awesome. That was you playing the guitar?
That was me playing the guitar, and that was
Willie, you're good. Willie, you're good.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Listen.
The entire family.
Yes, they're all talented, and we thank God. You know what? I'm just, I before yesterday, I keep thinking yesterday was Wednesday, but before we left, we had our Bishop Kennedy to call in from Florida. And if I'm not mistaken right now, I think I may have him right now. Dr. Kennedy, are you there? Hello? Well, maybe I don't. Gary, if you want to go ahead and introduce the panel, and I'll see if I can tune in.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, that's fine. Listen, it's just me today for now, but I prepared. Dr. Khanna's prepared something very, very timely with all this news going on in the government and politics, and this is not going to be bipartisan. This is a bipartisan issue. It's just talking together, and it's basically understanding. And Willie, we have to see your face, by the way. Please log in. What was the three branches of the U.S. government and how were they formed? Hello, Clem. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good to see you. So,
Gary, one second. Dr. Bishop, are you there? Can you hear us?
I hear you well. Thank you.
Okay, well, I got something going on here that I can't really hear you. Did you guys hear Bishop Kennedy?
Yes, we can hear him.
Oh, you can hear him? Okay.
He's a little low, but yes.
Can everyone hear me? Or only you?
Yes. Hey, Clem.
Well, okay, they can hear you. But you know what, Gary, go ahead. I'm gonna try to fix it up. Just continue, and I'll try to get him in on a radio line.
Yeah, after I see your face, Mr. Willie.
Okay, absolutely.
Hey, when the founding fathers formed this country, they were very wise. And believe it or not, many people don't know this. They took advice from the Bible in setting up the three branches of the government. Did you know there's three branches of the government? The legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Do you know where it came from? Isaiah 33:22. For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king. He will save us. Each represents the three branches of the United States government that was set up. The king represents the executive branch, with the judge is judicial, and the lawgiver is the legislative. Each branch can change the acts of the others. It's called checks and balances. The president can veto legislation created by Congress and nominates heads of federal agencies. Congress then confirms or rejects the president's nominees and can remove the president from office in exceptional circumstances. The justice of the Supreme Court, who can overturn unconstitutional laws and are nominated by the president and then confirmed by the Senate. The legislative is the U.S. Congress. It makes the laws. It makes up the Senate. It's made up of the Senate, 2 representatives from every state, and Congress, a number of representatives based upon the population of each state. And we talked about this before. That's where we get the Electoral College from. It's important to understand recent activities in the news and that we have seen affecting each branch of the government. For instance, the House of Representatives, which among other things can initiate investigation and impeachment activities based upon the decision of the majority of the political party. So it was the House of Representatives that launched the famous Russian investigation and the recent impeachment attempt of our president. The Senate, which among other things can appoint Supreme Court justices. The president can make executive decisions, like when he ruled that the federal government will grant up to $300 to people who are unemployed, with the ability of each state to add $100 if they want. And the Supreme Court, if only 9 people have the power to overturn amongst any law passed by Congress or voted in by the people. For example, it was the Supreme Court that ruled that segregation was illegal, thank God. And they also ruled that abortion is allowed. So key in today's news is the decision to select a new Supreme Court judge after Ruth Bader Ginsberg just recently passed away. Hello, Willie. We're going to see your wonderful face. Why don't you say something, Willie?
Praise God. I think I got the bishop in. Good. I'm going to wait till you finish your.
All right. I'm almost finished. I want to see your face, though. So,
can you see me?
I'm almost done. Let me see. Yes, I can. Hold on. Just say something, Willie.
God bless you. God bless you. Are you there, Bishop Kennedy?
We got you.
I'm here. Thank you.
Oh, okay,
Good.
great.
I needed to merge your video with your audio. Okay, now, today's news is that, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. The power from the founding fathers has clearly been given to the Senate. So if a majority of the Senate votes to add a person to the Supreme Court, they can. Over the years, they've come to be known as what's known as the confirmation process, which is really started as a courtesy to allow members of Congress and members of the public know the details about the person being nominated. Originally, this was a nonpartisan process that moved along rather smoothly. As the Supreme Court expanded their reach and powers, the confirmation process became quite partisan and heated to the extent that proven false stories about the nominee were floated and greatly distributed by the media. There are people now who believe that this process should be eliminated to avoid the unreasonable amount of disinformation and posturing by each party. The simple truth is, the Constitution clearly provides the Senate the power to appoint a Supreme Court judge. By bypassing the confirmation process has become known as what they call the nuclear option, a nuclear option. But the nuclear option is simply going to a vote, following the rules initially set down by the founding fathers in the Constitution. It turns out to be a simple process which has not really been challenged until 1987 with the attempted confirmation of Robert Bork that received such intense criticism, some of which proved to be false. So he could not be conformed. So let us let the Constitution stand, let the opinions of others or that will benefit from changing this not overrule the Constitution. This is the decision will be made in coming weeks. So I thank you for that, Willie. Hey, if you're out there, please call in 212-219-9695. Thank you, Clem Yeboah. He's the chairman of Voice of the Kids. I'm on the board also, and we're on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on 8 networks right now. It's pretty exciting, but the main one is facebook.com/Khanna for kids. And Willie, I'm gonna. By the way, before I turn it over to you, I just want to ask Clem. I can only see the top of your head. Do you have any comment?
Well, as always, Gary, you have taken this, into some depth. So let's see what the audience has. And my only comment is that during the different times, the Democrats have tried to do the appointment when they had the control of the Senate. And the last time there was a lot of furor over that. And even that was 8 months ahead of elections. The Republicans stonewalled, and they were on the Democrats were unable to appoint. In this situation, we only have a few weeks to elections. So what is it that the Republicans are going to try to do? They're going to rush it through. Yes, they may probably have a nominee by this weekend.
Tomorrow, yes.
Okay, and are the Democrats able to do anything to prevent? Maybe not. The bigger thing is the implication of having a 6-3, conservative court, a Supreme Court. Is that what we want? Do we need more of a variation in some of the decisions? And should the Republicans try to push this through? I mean, these are all thoughts, things that we need to think about, especially when the deceased Supreme Court justice was such an advocate for women's rights, which implied children's rights. If there is a new person who comes in who is not such an advocate, then there will be a tremendous loss in advocacy for women and children. And that's that. And so if the Republicans are going to push this through, we will be looking to see if they will bring someone who is an advocate for women and children.
Hey, Willie, I saw somebody laughing. There was one of your guests. Did he have a comment? He looked like he wanted to say something.
Well, okay, I'm sure he has a comment, but I just, I'm glad we are, we've got that kind of out of the way, because right now we have, I think it was 3 officers that was just acquitted or got off the hook. They shot and killed one of these, a black woman in her home. They sprayed bullets in a house next door to them, and they just got off. And so, I mean, yes, the Supreme Court justice is a very important factor in our lives here. But right now, you got parents that have to bury their dead. You have parents that are going crazy right now. And so, I mean, if we're going to talk about, I don't do politics, but if we're going to talk about our country, let's talk about what's going on and how we can change it. Because right now, with this situation, that a lot of the people that are hurting, we have people that are hurting. I told you I had 2 young men that were shot in the head that were killed a few weeks ago, and I told you I had one laying in the hospital that's clinging to his life with a bullet in his head. And so these are some of the things that are happening to us immediately. This is right now. And when I leave this station, I'm getting calls. I'm dealing with young people. I'm dealing with the prisons. I've got about 7 people that listen to this program in prison, and they call me. And in fact, a couple of times I was just tempted to just put them on. They're telling us what's going on in the prisons. They're telling I got young guys in there that haven't been arraigned. They've just been in there for over a year, and they're calling out of the prisons trying to get help. These are some of the things that I want to address, and I don't mean to be jumping all over the place. And because, actually when I was coming in, what I really wanted to speak about? I wanted to speak about acts of kindness. I wanted to speak about love. I wanted to speak about how can we turn this country around, because with the hate and the systemic racism that's going on within the country, it's going to explode. And we as Christians, we already know that prayer. Well, as you say, you're going to have one of my guests to say something. Pastor Lavery, I just put out a question, and then Bishop, I would like you to ask it, and Sister Kim. You guys can chime in at any time, jump in at any time. But go ahead, Pastor Lavery.
Well.
Speak in the mic.
What great topics that are on the broadcast today. I mean, we're talking about so many powerful things. And Gary, I did like what you talked about the government and what between the Congress and the president and all things related to that. Willie has brought up a very good topic as well, because actually I spoke to one of these gentlemen a few weeks ago. He allowed me to speak to him, and we're dealing with a very sensitive issue, especially when it deals with family members, loved ones, and different things of that nature. And there's not a quick fix. There's not a quick answer to dealing with these issues. As a Christian, number one, as a minister of the gospel, I look at everything from a prayer perspective and how God can really change the entire situation. So I really believe that if we came together as children of God and really pray, like 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, I believe that we can come together and really help these guys that are incarcerated. We can help the families of these particular victims. So there's a lot of things we can do, but a lot of times we talk about the problem, but we never talk about the solution to the problem.
Yes.
And so I'm that type of person. I mean, this is what I learned in management and all types of leadership years ago. We can talk about issues till the cows come home, but what is the solution? And I believe that this is where Willie's coming from today, and the question he's presenting is the acts of kindness and compassion, and how does that relate to the issues we're talking about on the air today?
Let me just jump in. You were in the car when I was going home. What was that, 2 weeks ago, 3?
Well, it was about a month ago.
About a month ago, I was leaving the station, and like I said, we have quite a few people that are incarcerated that listens to this program, and I just we're praying for you guys. So what happened while we were riding, because I was dropping you off?
Well, yeah, it was that period of time, and this guy, actually the lawyer or his pastor was on the line with him, and they really don't know what to do. This is the situation where there's so many different people involved in this what's going on, and I just said, well, the advice that I gave at that time was you better check with the lawyer, because there's so many things involved in this. So, Willie, exactly what is, I mean, I know the issue at hand, but what would you like to see resolved and talked about today on the air?
Well, the thing is not a problem. He's not telling you that he took all of the guy's information. He took the crime that they got him for. He took all of his information, the attorneys of the information, the judge information. So there's another situation that we were trying to get. But you took everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he took everything. So I just wanted to let you know that. Do you have a comment, Bishop? This is Bishop. Can you identify yourself and tell us who you are and what you represent?
I'm Pastor Kennedy, Reverend Dr. Charles Kennedy of Tampa, Florida, and I'm listening. My answer in a comment is going to be from the book that I believe in, the Scriptures. two or three things, and I'll be brief. In St. John 17, listen to this. Jesus said, I pray not for the world. I pray not for the world, but for them, Father, that you've given to me out of the world. And in other words, that there is another God, since they rejected God from heaven in the form of Jesus Christ. So the root of the matter is what needs to be dealt with. We're dealing with the aftermath, of the different situation of the killings and the incarcerations and all. But the root of it is in the spirit world. In the spirit world, this is where we as people of God would actually search the scripture, look at attorneys and on both sides, with us pro or con. They search the law to find what is applicable, for each situation. This is what I do. I search the scriptures to find what's applicable for the situation today that we see so prominent in the injustice system, not justice system. And you can look me up. I was incarcerated a few years ago, and I was doing what the Lord said. I was doing what He said. But He told me to start a trust, and we started that trust. And the trust went over $50 million. The Attorney General came and visited me. They couldn't find anything wrong. When the trust went over $100 million in less than 2 years, well, I got visitors that want to use proceeds, out of the trust. Well, later, because they were not registered by the SEC, the federal government wrote me up as being one of them. This actually happened, one of them. And so the federal government sent an attorney to me. Listen to me. Sent an attorney to me, supposed to have been defending me, but he was working for the feds. He was working for the feds. They didn't take one piece of discovery from me, zero. So, make a long story short, I had to appear in Denver, and without a trial, without anything. I never pleaded guilty, but they convicted me and sentenced me to a year and a day, which is less than a year. And it went up on the internet. You see my name there, this pastor in Florida, blah, 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 blah. But the injustice of the justice system. And the Lord spoke two words to me: trust me. That's all He said to me. Trust me. That's all He said to me. Yes. So I went through this episode dealing with the system, right? But watch, out of all of our marching, out of all of our talking, except the heart is changed, it's all futile. God proved it Himself when He wrote the law on stones. He wrote the law on stone, but it's not written in the heart. So when it comes to laws written on books and the heart is not effective, you won't get an effective change. You just won't do it. And the proof is that things are getting worse and worse and worse, as the scripture have said. Now, all right, on top of that now, that when I was on probation for 33 years, listen to this. They still tried to kill my name. My name still tried to. So they wrote up the probation officer. They wrote up a summons, and I had to appear in Denver, right, to answer that sermon. Well, little did they know that I was able to hire $5,000. Where did I get $5,000 from? Where did I get it from that quickly? But I hired an attorney who's what they call a power attorney out of New Mexico. He showed up in Denver.
Bishop, we're going to be running out of time in a very short period of time.
Okay.
And
no, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead. Because I had some other things, but you're addressing the economy.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to.
But at another time.
Yeah, definitely. On Wednesday, we have 3 hours here, and so I would love for you to come back with us and let us know. But now, with these young guys, now when I get out of here today, I'm probably going to get 4 or 5 calls. We heard the program and everything. What you're talking to them right now, because they're listening and they know what they've been through with this unjust system. What would you advise these young men? Because they're in there and they're hurting bad. And the ones that cry out, I got a couple in there that are advocates for others, and they call out and send letters. They put them in the hole, like that they call it. I'm down. I'm in the hole. Sir. I can't make phone calls or whatever.
Sir.
Now,
confinement.
What would you tell those young men in there right now? How would you tell them? Because you had to deal with it in some great way.
I had to go through that. I had to go through it.
But
yes, sir.
Talk to them directly.
Here's what I would give as wise counsel to the young men. Whatever that you do, try to be as peaceful as you possibly can, because if you get on the wrong side of them, even though you're right, you get on the wrong side of them, they're going to punish you. They're going to punish you because you under their jurisdiction. So I say to you young men, all that you can, to do all that you can to be as peaceful as you can, as friendly as you can, to give them no kind of anything to come at you, even if it's false, to put you in the hole. I had to go through it. I had to go through that, but I'm sharing with you, I gained such favor while there because I humbled myself. And I became obedient unto them, even they were wrong. And I got favor because I simply was no threat to them and a friend to the men that were around me. So I advise you to be as friendly as you possibly can, as peaceful as you possibly can, and trust in God for the rest of the way.
Oh, yes, yes. Go ahead, Gary.
That's good.
Thank you very
That's
much.
good.
Hey, Willie, I do want to introduce, he's traveling. I already introduced Clem Yaboa, the chairman of Voice of the Kids, but Dr. Khanna is on. He is not on video. He's on phone because he's traveling today. And he wanted, the bishop is on the phone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he wanted to ask Bishop, Dr. Khanna, Dr. Surajit Khanna, he's a child advocate. He is the champion voice of the kids, and he's a servant of the underserved. He wanted to ask you a question. So let me introduce Dr. Khanna, and this is Bishop Kennedy.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Hi Gary. Hi Clem. Hi, brother Willie. Hi Bishop.
Yes.
I'm sorry that I could not join through Zoom today, and hi audience. I apologize for this, but I just want to take the opportunity because it's so fortunate to have the Honorable Bishop on the line, speaking to the audience, especially on the sector where we concentrate on the child safety, because Voice of the Kids is all about child safety, how we can bring children in a better position, because we all are children of God, but that's not how people look. But we as part of CFC, Voice of the Kids, and me as an individual, we would like to make sure that the children are safe. So because today's topic, which Gary kind of set up the tone, that we are talking about election is coming, about the 3 different branches of U.S. government, and how that is completely aligned from the Bible, which the founders of our country, when they established these 3 branches of the U.S. government, they took it from the Bible. So, Gary, you want to? I don't have the exact quote in front of me. Could you repeat the verse in the Bible in Isaiah 33:11, I believe?
Yes, of course. Yeah, Isaiah 33:22. For the
22,
Lord.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. For the Lord is our judge. The Lord is our lawgiver. The Lord is our king. He will save us.
So these are the things which our 3 judicial, 3 U.S. government branches are. One is the executive branch, one is the judicial branch, and then the legislative branch. So this is where it comes from. So that's the reason why the founding of United States of America is spiritual. It's not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry came and started this country with any laws or anything. No. That's why we say we trust in God. This is land of the freedom, okay, and the land of the brave. That's the home of the brave. I mean, that's the only reason, because there is a platform set from the Bible itself, from the Lord. Even though, in reality, the Lord is the controller of all the 3 branches of our government. Unfortunately, we are not the Lord, so that's why we have to have 3 different heads. The president is the head of the executive branch, the Supreme Court is the head of the judicial branch, and the legislative is the Senate is the head of the legislative branch. So since I have the pleasure of having Bishop here, my simple and humble question, if I may ask him, that how do you see this Bible verse and the judicial, I keep on saying judicial, this government branch, three government branches can be aligned, and in simple language, the citizens of United States could understand, regardless of religion, regardless of race, regardless of color. What do you think, Bishop?
Well, and now, when that scripture was written, it was not written to the world. It was written to the people of God, basically Israel, because that was a prophet. Isaiah was the prophet. He was not writing to the world. He's writing to Israel. So, and the founding fathers, they did use the scriptures of the Bible to write the Constitution. And that's what they used to write the Constitution. So the scriptures, they're there. The word is there, but it's written to people that would give heed to it, would have a heart for it. Presently, and I'll be done, the lead voice in this country, the president of this country, he does not give heed to what's written by our founding fathers by executive orders. So, with and directing whatever that we do, a few minutes ago, the scriptures quoted from 2 Chronicles. If my people, that's talking about us today. Us today. If my people should call by my name, humble themselves and pray specifically. Since we know what the situation is, we don't pray blindly. We address specifically the cares that's in our hearts that we're talking about today. Cast it on him, believe in him, and see if he will make an effective change as we are unto him. That's my understanding from the question and from what's written and from the Constitution and our founding fathers, if that would help us at all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you so much. I just wanted the validation of this, because nobody other than the bishop could validate this. And I want the audience to really, pay attention to what Bishop said, that the founding fathers, they wrote the Constitution, they wrote the baseline of this country based on the Bible. What does that mean? That means this is based on Lord's blessings. This is based on the scriptures. Okay, it is not written by somebody out of the blue and wrote something. No. So it is very important for us to follow the Constitution. It is very important for us to understand that our children, they understand the Constitution. It's not that there are so many amendments that we just no. There is a reason why each and every amendment of the Constitution are important. Thank you very much, Bishop. I'm sorry that I had to get off. Brother Willie, thank you very much for bringing Bishop to the show. This is, I think the audience, especially Friday today, the audience are blessed. And thank you, Claim and Gary, for having me here.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Welcome. Definitely welcome.
Welcome.
Sister Copeland, hi. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm taking it in. Yes, I appreciate. I think that was Dr. Khanna in the beginning, and Brother Clem talking about what kind of voice representative for the voice of the kids, explaining the three branches, bringing that to my memory from high school. And beginning of my college years. Of course, I kind of forgot some of that stuff, but I'm getting back into it, trying to catch up and remember and really going back to search. It seems as though with the justice system, it is tending to try to go back a little backwards. But I do appreciate the testimony and the for Bishop Kennedy giving his experience. That's something. It's hard to do. Sometimes we don't want to talk about those things, but if it can help somebody, I appreciate that. And I think it goes back to also what we were speaking about on the other day in terms of abomination. I think the key thing is obedience. As he said, when you're in prison or you're on the wrong, or you may be right, but you're on the wrong side now, to humble yourself, be obedient. I know we want to fight back a lot. We want to protest and a lot of these different things, and especially when you're, it's you actually in cuffs or locked up. But humble yourself, be obedient, and, at that point, just, do what you can do until the help comes, because help will come. It's not going to be long. And that's exactly what Joseph did. And look what happened to him. He got favor. He became high. He became one of the, top rulers because of humbling himself and being obedient. So that's definitely important. And also pray. And then I heard today Dr. Jake said was talking about the power of agreement. That's what we're doing now. We're making noise, and we're making a lot of noise. We got to keep making our noise, and we're standing in agreement. And things have got to change when that happens. Things have to change when that happens. But in the meantime, fret not yourself because of evildoers, for they will soon be cut down as the green grass wither.
Absolutely. Listen, you said something. Bishop said something also. I'm going to ask Pastor Lavery. He said, if my people, which are called by my name,
shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then will I hear from heaven and heal their land, which is a very powerful verse. Dr. Khanna, I really appreciated your comments today, and not that I never do, but it was very powerful today in particular, and you were able to put the icing on the cake in everything that was already discussed, and you were able to put it all together to what we were all discussing, not only just discussing the problem, but discussing the solution to the problem. And that was a very powerful thing. And I liked how everyone was able to come together and say the same thing, but in different ways. And that was very powerful.
Are you there, Gregory? And Pastor, I hope I didn't lose the line. Gary, are you there? I'm always messing with something. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah, Gary is the one that he normally get those scriptures together. But I think I do thank God that we're talking about relevant situations. There's so many things right now to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I say, the thing that's close to my heart right now, and I know the Democrats are going back with the Republicans and saying, it's a bad situation. Okay, President Obama wanted to do something, so they got and blocked it. So now the Democrats has, they're going to try and block. So I try not to get into that mix because, as I said earlier, we have, this criminal justice system, the systemic racism in our country, and we have to find solutions. And when, you hear that Bible verse where it says, if my people, which are called by my name, so that's God telling us that he will heal the land if we turn from our evil ways. And so that's why I'm just, here. But we're going to be running out of time. Listen, Bishop, tell our listening audience what you have in store for our organization in terms of Africa, because I was thinking, is there something that I didn't, I was thinking, me, my mind, my imagination. I want to go over there and start building hospitals and orphans.
Hey, Willie, could you please ask the pastor to give us his website, which I'm trying to find him. That would help. I'd appreciate that.
Well, Bishop, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Gary, you can ask him whatever.
Could you please give us your website? We would like to look you up. We're impressed by the things you said.
Let me give you two things. You ready?
Yes,
Let me give you my email address because I can give you a backdrop of what we're doing here in Liberia, West Africa. So take my email address down, then I give you website. You can email me, just Charles Kennedy, Charles Kennedy, dot, B as in boy, W as in woman, A as in apple, O as in orange, at gmail.com.
Got it.
So if you just send me just a text message, and then I would give you a backdrop, on what we're doing presently here and in Liberia, and then you can look at my foundation. You can do www.theaabf.org. That's the website that we have there. I'll close with this when Brother Willie said Africa. Well,
thank you.
I'm going to. I've been involved with the economy since in the 80s, right? So with Liberia, I'll be brief with this. I'm the power of attorney appointed by the organization there since 2011 in behalf of the indigenous in 15 counties of Liberia. What does that mean? The 15 counties, each one of the counties gave 300,000 acres of land, and 2 of the counties gave 600,000. So my foundation and the organization there, we have 5.1 million acres of land with all mineral rights. Hear me well. With all mineral rights to take them from poverty to prosperity. It's all on paper. That's a backdrop I'm going to send to you all. All of the gold, the diamonds, the oil, the PGMs is under this man's authority. I'm the power of attorney to bring the right relationships to economically make them a viable people. And because of that, we have business over here that's a back and forth agreement. God has done this thing. He has done it, and can't nobody circumvent us. Lastly, we as a people, we have enough people to develop our own economy. That's where we're headed.
Wow, Bishop, I'm just excited. Where do we?
How can we help, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How can we help? Go ahead.
I sent you.
No, I got it.
I want everybody to hear this quickly. You ready?
Go ahead.
As black people, we've never owned a property and casualty insurance company. You have different State Farm and all. They got agencies that black people don't, but they don't own the money. Well, I sent Brother Willie a brochure that's going to be discussed among you all. Now, as an organization, we can own our own property and casualty. That means you're owning the money. You're owning the money, just like State Farm and the rest of them. This is what we got in our hands. We have the administration to do all of the administration. All we have to do is get the people. You better hear me. Get the people together to do one thing, and this will run into the hundreds of millions of dollars. This is right now. This is right now that we got the opportunity. I hadn't spoken to Brother Willie in a couple of years. When he answered that phone, after about 2 years he answered the phone, I said, this must be God. This must be the Lord. And so here we are today. We have the grace of God like never before. While the world is going upside down, all the confusion, we can come out shining bright because we got favor in Liberia, West Africa. We got it. And you're going to see it on paper when I email you all.
Bishop, I was trying to keep that secret. I wasn't going to.
Well, you asked me to tell it, so.
Well,
Yes.
I mean,
He was go.
Brother Willie. Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Glenn.
The good thing is we got the facilities, we got the we can do this. All we have to do is to come together as a people. And yes, the land, and I understand how you're going the way of insurance, because with insurance, then the insurance can finance a lot of other different things that we need to finance.
You got
so
it,
certainly you know, this is good, and we need to talk some more about it.
Yes,
we shall.
Okay, I just want to chime in 1 minute. I'm sorry, I know we're running out of time, but this really also ties in with the act of kindness, what we can do for those that we know that's falsely imprisoned and getting locked up and waiting for their sentences. Continue to pray for them. If we can get some care packages out to them, advocate for them like we're doing. I think that's one of the greatest acts of kindness that we can do.
Yes. Okay. Now, last week, Willie, we started this initiative with, was it 2 weeks ago, of feeding families in need, and you gave us the understanding that you'll be looking to appeal to churches to see who will join our, we can expand it to include, the juveniles in prisons.
Okay, well, we will. Listen, we only got about a minute left. And Clint, I'm going to be working very close with you, and Gary and Dr. Khanna. We're on the precipice of doing something really good that can change a lot of things, and it's just a matter of time. And God works in mysterious ways. But I want to tell everybody that's listening, we thank God for you tuning in. We thank for you listening. We want to let you know we'll be back here at the same station. We're on Wall Street, right here in one of these plush buildings here, and we thank God. Don't ask me how we did it, but again, I say we thank God.
Absolutely.
And God is good, and so some great things are happening. And we want everybody to know you can also tune into the Christian Fellowship Council Gospel Radio. If you go to cfcgospelradio.com, that's right, we have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week station, and you can listen to our ministries. You can listen to gospel music 24 hours all day long. Also, if you go right down to dial here for you in the New York, Connecticut, New Jersey area, we're on WSNR 620 on your AM dial every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And that's every Sunday night, Sunday evening. So you can hear a lot about the Christian Fellowship Council. You hear a lot of the pastors that are doing their ministries, and you'll learn a lot more of what's going on, be in depth. So make sure you tune in. Again, that's WSNR. That's 620 on your AM dial. We're on 930 right now. It's just down a little bit further, and you'll be on 620. I want to thank all of you. I want to say we give a big shout-out to our Pastor Staten. We miss you very much, and we want you all to continue to tune in. We will be back on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Don't you miss it. We thank God for everybody to join in. Thank you, Bishop. Bishop, I'll talk to you offline. And
yes, sir.
Gary, Dr. Khanna, Clint.
Hey, Bishop, I already sent you an email.
I love it.
Oh wow! See, Bishop, you didn't spill the. Oh my God!
Voice of the kids, we don't fool around.
We're gonna skin this cat.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Sister Kim.
You're welcome. Anytime. Talk
Bye,
to you
Kim.
soon.
Bye, Kim.
Dr. Levy.
Thank you all.
Love everybody. Hugs and kisses.
Thank you, everyone.